Blue Ribbon Race Day here at the centenary Manx Grand Prix. After 100 years of racing, the expectation for action is as strong as ever. 2 races to get through today. The senior race, reduced to 3 laps because of the weather, and then that final classic Superbike race to round out the event. As the 3-lap junior settled in, it was a Manx 1, 2 and 3 onto the mountain on lap 1. Newcomers Marcus Simpson and Joe Yeardsley led Jamie Williams from Dan Ingham. Further down the field, Dave Rigby set off in 21st and had moved to 6 within minutes of leaving the line. There's no denying the quality of newcomer talent this year. Marcus Simpson stuck in a 120 mile an hour opening lap and had opened the gap to 9 seconds by Ramsey on lap 2, with Jamie Williams holding station in 3rd. Meanwhile, Joe Yeardsley had dragged the gap back down, and by the end of lap 2, it was just 2 seconds that separated him from Simpson. The last lap was a flyer. Dan Ingham nicked 3rd from Williams, and Joe Yeardsley took the lead, setting a blistering 122.051 miles an hour, a lap record on his final run round. It was an incredibly mature ride by a guy that looked set for success on the mountain course of the future. Remember this name, folks, Joe Yeardsley. He was simply incredible. In the classic Superbike race, Dean Harrison led the pack by the time they'd made it to the mountain for the first time. Michael Dunlop was only 1.1 seconds down, with Dave Johnson nipping at his heels. Dipped in honey, the Ducati was on the money after lap 1, and there was 124-mile-an-hour laps at the sharp end. Unsurprisingly, Mike Brown failed to complete that first lap with yet another mechanical. He's hot property here now. I can see him having his pick of the field in this class next year. By Glen Helen on lap 2, Dunlop had nicked the lead by a dust cap. By Balaf, he was 2.5 seconds up on the Ducati, and by Ramsey, Michael had checked out with a 6.6 second lead. It was about this time that Rob Hodson popped up on Davo on lap 2 and started lurking for a podium spot. Then Dean Harrison expired the motor on the lovely Ducati on the run into Brandywell. Much like we said of the Team Classic Suzuki last year, this is a development year for Dean in the 916. He'll be back for more next year, no doubt. A winner in his newcomer year at the Manx in 2006 at just 17 years old, Michael Dunlop seemed to be putting mechanical sympathy first, managing the gap perfectly. In fact, at one point he stretched it to 43 seconds on the final lap, putting him inside lap record pace. Hodson closed on Davo further still. The gap was down to less than a second on the final lap. Michael nursed the GSX-R to a new lap record of 126.681 miles an hour. He wasn't happy with the bike, but to be fair, he'd finished 3 laps faster than everyone else. I'm not sure what else that bike needed to have done.
So that's it for this centenary Manx Grand Prix. My highlights from the week start with just being back on the island. 20 years I've been coming here and I simply cannot get enough of being in this beautiful place. In terms of action that I've seen, I think Mike Brown and that Eddie Laycock rep Arai was really special. The Laylaw racing team has got everything. Mike Brown and Ian Locker at opposite ends of their career, beautifully prepared 2-strokes and a garage brimming with full factory Irish lads who are as dedicated as they come. If I was picking bikes and riders, it would start with Sean Anderson and the Norton. We can't ignore Dean Harrison and that stunning Ducati. And finally, Nathan Harrison and the beautiful Honda RC45. As ever, myself and everyone involved with putting on these races extends their gratitude to the marshals and associated volunteers for making this event happen. Still going strong after 100 years, the Manx Grand Prix lives on. I hope you've enjoyed all of these shows that we've brought you over the last few weeks, and I hope you've also subscribed for the extra content that we'll bring you over the next few months. Thank you very much.